Today marks the beginning of the NHL's regular season, and we have our first trade to discuss. The Avalanche and the Hurricanes have swapped players. We'll discuss this trade coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, technically today we have our first trade of the NHL's regular season. Tonight begins NHL hockey with a triple header. We're going to get to see the debut of Connor Bedard. The Golden Knights are raising their Stanley Cup banner and so on. So I hope you're all ready to enjoy a fun night of hockey with the NHL season being back. But let's discuss this trade here. The Hurricanes and the Avalanche have hooked up on a deal with Carolina trading the young defenseman Caleb Jones to the Avalanche in exchange for Callaghan, Burke. Now, Caleb Jones is signed to a one-year deal, a league minimum, $775. Of course, he signed with the Hurricanes this past offseason after not being re-signed and qualified by the Chicago Blackhawks, where he used to play with his brother Seth Jones, of course, former Edmonton Oiler as well. Jones, of course, went to training camp knowing that it was going to be a tough time getting a roster spot in that deep Carolina blue line, but it's a contract nonetheless. He was placed on waivers back on October the 7th, and he did clear, so he remained with the Avalanche, or with the Hurricanes, but now he gets traded to the Avalanche, where they'll have the option, since he already has cleared waivers, of either going on the NHL roster if they need to call him up, or they can place him directly with the American Hockey League's Colorado Eagles, which is probably where he'll start. I do know there was some injuries they were battling on the blue line. They were also talking about using defenseman Curtis McDermott more as a forward this year. So they will create an opportunity where he can probably be like the number 7 defenseman on that team, whereas in Carolina, he's probably going to be even further down the depth chart. The Hurricanes had more than ample defensemen in camp there that they had signed some extra depth. So that's good for Jones, obviously, and it creates a little bit of a better depth situation for the Avalanche as well. Callaghan Burke going back to the Hurricanes is a prospect that I suspect may or may not become an NHL player. At this point, he's 24 years old. He was an undrafted prospect, signed out of college hockey. He's played 3 American Hockey League seasons now. Played 2 games in the NHL with the Avalanche. So, not to say he won't be a player, but on a deep Carolina team is going to be even more challenging, or just as challenging, really, because obviously the Avalanche have a pretty deep team up front as well. So this is more of a contract. Now, the other good part about this as well for Burke himself is he does not have to relocate right now, because where the Hurricanes do not have a American Hockey League affiliate at the moment, they are placing prospects to play on various AHL teams, loaning them with the help of other NHL franchises. So Burke will be loaned to the Colorado Eagles, where he was going to be anyway. So he'll stay with the American Hockey League Eagles, and he just won't be a member of the Avalanche organization. His paychecks will not come from the Hurricanes, and if there's any opportunities for call-ups, then that's where he would go. So at the end of the day, nothing really changes much for him, at least in the short term. And in Jones's case, he gets to go to the Avalanche organization, where they'll probably place him with the Eagles, but at least have a better chance of getting NHL games this year to hopefully find himself a spot. I know on the back end, clearly they have some guys that play a lot of minutes with Makar and Taves, and then of course you get Gerard, Manson, etc. There's not a ton of opportunity, but I know there have been some injuries. I think Manson was dealing with something. So at the end of the day, if they run into anything, Jones can be a reasonably mid-level experienced guy to come in and take some reps probably on your third pair. So good, easy move for both clubs. It satisfies a couple of needs there. So will we see some more opportunities for swapping of players today? I wouldn't completely rule it out. Now that teams have been, cap compliant since yesterday, we're seeing some recalls today. We're seeing some other roster adjustments as well ahead of their first game. So it wouldn't be shocking if there isn't. I don't expect anything else earth-shattering or anything of that nature, but it wouldn't be shocking to see some other minor details like this. So let me know your thoughts on this trade. We'll discuss further. I made a prediction video earlier today in case you missed it. 32 bold predictions to start the NHL season. That will be linked up in the YouTube cards. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, I'd appreciate it if you did. Let me know what your predictions are for the upcoming season as well. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.